6 ways to trick yourself into being more productive. And this is something that I've been using for pretty much since I became an entrepreneur, and I don't know what I would do without it. And that is to have other people hold you accountable. But there's a very specific way that you kind of have to do this. And so I'm going to share a quick story from outside the entrepreneurial world. There was years ago, I was trying to lose weight and I was struggling with all the things that happen with weight loss. And the gym that I barely went to had this promotion, and there were 2 packages. One was show up once a week, we'll weigh you, we'll measure your body fat percentage and stuff like that. And it was like $50 for the duration. And then they also had one with private, training and personal training, and that was like $500 or something like that. And I was just like, okay, I'll do that $50 thing. And I couldn't believe how fast I lost weight just because I showed up once a week to stand on a scale in front of a stranger who I really didn't care what they think, right? I could quit this gym and leave and probably never see them again. But that little tiny bit of accountability made all the difference in the world. And so the way I like to do this in business is I like to go and find somebody that I know and respect, and I'll ask them for feedback on something that I haven't done yet. And I essentially would say, like, I might reach out to Summer and say, hey, Summer, I would really love your feedback on this. Would you be open to giving me feedback? And assuming Summer said, yes, sure, I would say, great, I'll have it to you by Thursday afternoon. And just doing that, because I don't want Summer to think of me as somebody that doesn't get things done or keep their promises, I'm going to make sure to get it done. Now, I've found that it has to be somebody that you know and respect. And sometimes if they're too close to you, it doesn't work. Like if I promise my wife something and then the kids are difficult, then she's like, well, I get it. The kids are difficult or you got sick or whatever. What have you found with that, Summer? Have you found that you can do it with anybody or just people that are at a certain level of respect or what?
I love that. I love that you also tied in the identity piece with that too. Like you want them to see you a certain way. And I think that's really important too, is because we want ourselves to be seen in that way because we believe that that's a value that we hold. I believe that it can be with the right people. I think you do have to be a little bit more strategic about who you ask to be your accountability buddy. But at the same time, I've used my VA to help me keep accountable. I've used friends, I've used peers, and I've also used my partner too to help me be accountable. But I think there is something within there that you have to have. So I have told you before too that my partner and I, on and off, whenever I struggle with follow-up, because it's an important part of my business to follow up with people, but I struggle with doing it, he will hold me accountable with this $100 like follow-up Friday. And so if I don't follow up with 10 people on Friday, I have to pay him $100. And if I do follow up with 10 people, then he will pay me $100, right? And so whenever I'm really struggling with this, I'm like, I need us to enact this. And I have paid him $100 now a few times.
Wow.
And yeah, that changed since our last conversation. Because I struggled.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think the first time you told me that story, you're like, it works amazingly. I've never had to pay him.
Yeah. Turns out I have. But the next week, I am like, no, I want that $100 back, right? And so there is something like, you can use your partner to do that, but you have to have some, like, stakes have to be high too.
Yes.
And you have to tell them, like, don't let me off the hook for this because it's really important.